This week, I wired up credit packs, onboarding, beginnings of job tracking, and started locking in Payper PDF into SaaSCore's billing model. Quick housekeeping. I missed last week's update due to a neck injury. It took me out for an entire week. I'm back now, but as a result of missing a week of this, I'm going to extend Payper PDF's milestone by 1 week. Let me show you where we're at. This is Payper PDF. I'm going to sign in now, and I've extended the onboarding process. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sign into a new email that doesn't have a tenant or anything like that. I'm going to show you the email that we get now, because now I've added in proper templating. I'll have some more comments on that later as I show you some of the intricacies of that. Okay, so just going to sign in now. Okay, so I've got the magic link now copied, so I'm just going to paste it into the URL here. So this is going to simulate me clicking on it. Okay, so now this is the onboarding flow, because I've just logged in with an email that doesn't exist in the system. And I've really thought about how I want this to work, because when you create a tenant, sometimes you might want to do some additional actions after that. So for this one, I've done, every tenant must have a tenant credit wallet, because otherwise, if you log in and then say that you create the tenant and then the creation of the tenant wallet fails, then you've got, how do you reconcile that, right? You're going to get an error on the screen. It's just going to show that the credit wallet is an error. So this is something that absolutely has to happen at the point of creating the tenant. The only problem with this is entity framework, that if you have two different DB contexts that say use the same connection string, in theory, the actual connections underlying them they're not a shared connection. So in order to do that, you have to then create you have to then assign the same connection to the other DB to do a transaction across the two contexts, even though it's the same database. So, to keep things sort of basic and, not automatic retries and all this sort of stuff, I've basically just created a sort of transactional helper that you can it's an interface that you can put onto your store patterns, and then you can sort of say, hey, when the transaction happens, this is what you do under the hood. I thought about how I want this to be, usable in the future, and a big part of that was how I was thinking about if you look at auth flows, that hey, upon as signing in, do this, and then after sign in, do this, or before logging out, do this. If anyone's used like an identity provider like Auth0 or something, you can extend the auth flow. Yeah, kind of want to do the same thing with tenancy at the back end of this, because it's like, okay, what I put in, it works, but it's not exactly something that I want to do going forward. It works in a monolithic approach as well, not sort of like more of a microservice approach. You wouldn't use that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a new organization, and then we're going to go and log in and see the dashboard. So cool. As you can see, there's no error in here. We've got the zero credits in this account. That means that a tenant credit wallet exists. You might say, well, why is this available credits are blank? It's because this one's using a hook, and this one's coming directly from the dashboard API response, which I've not implemented yet. It's calling it. I just need to do the actual underlying implementation. But you can see that it doesn't error out. So what we've got here is I've not done anything with the PDF specific actions. I'm building the infrastructure around this to be able to perform these actions. These are trivial, and it's more how credits are consumed, used per. This is what I've been sort of focusing on. And there's a reason that I've picked this as the first app to do. This is to extend the framework. This is to build out these core systems within this. there's a lot that I've had to do in this to get the framework up to a point where it supports a full app. So this is why this has taken me a little bit longer than I wanted to. But it's progressing. We're getting there. So I've just not implemented these 4 functions yet. The invoices, I've not done this page yet, so this is one that needs to just take from, this will be part of the framework where, for the most part, some of it will be, this credit purchases won't be, but we're going to be getting invoices. So we've got that as an entity within SaaSCore.net. So we just need to expose endpoints for dealing with that, at least methods. And then I'm just going to switch to the account, and then you'll be able to see what's there and what's outstanding. So this is the account page. You can see here that we've got the full name. This is actually taken from the DB, and the email address as well. Save changes hasn't been updated. One thing to note about Magic Link Auth is that I've introduced now under the user's entity, user identities, with Magic Link being one of those identity types. So we just have to keep those 2 in sync. And then credit balance, again, this is using the same hook as that. And all of this stuff is correct. It's all been pulled in from the back end, which is good. The delete account isn't doing anything at the moment. It's fine. But I want to show you this next step, which is buy credits. And you'll see where we're at with this. I don't know if you saw that, but there was loading credit packs. So now the credit packs are actually coming from the database. The only thing is that we've not defined any. So this is where we're now going to move into the additional work that I've done in terms of defining credit packs that now live within the admin API. So I'm just going to go and load that up, and we'll see in a sec. Okay, so now we're on the admin API. As you can see, this is just the Swagger docs. We're going to go to the admin dashboard, and I've extended some parts of it to deal with creating your own. So we're on the admin API, and I'm just going to jump straight into the dashboard. Cool. So you might see the system of health is unknown. I've just not registered the health check endpoint, not endpoints, services. So that's one line. I just haven't done it. Sorry. So we go to billing now. You can see we've got the Stripe as the provider. And we go to catalog. You can see there's no products. So we're going to make one now. We're going to call it demo credit packs. Demo credit pack. Demo credit packs. Okay, just 2 seconds. Okay, so now we're going to create a product. We're going to call it Demo Credit Pack, and then Demo Credit Pack as the, so that's the key, and then the name, and then we're going to say packs meant for demonstration. Okay, so we're going to create the product now. This will go off into Stripe, put the product in there, which we've got. We've also got prices now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a 50 pack for a one-time price. And there we go. And then we'll do a 100 pack for £15. Okay, so you see here these one-off payments, and we're not going for subscriptions in this, obviously, definitely not for V1 of it. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how we then bridge the gap of SaaSCore.net to your own application in terms of products and their prices. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, and I've really thought about how I'd love this to work in the future. I'd love it to work as a micro front end approach. But we've got like an apps route, which I've just got AI to spin up something in 5 minutes, just so I can then start managing credit packs based to prices that will then be used as part of the checkout process. So let's go into that. Okay, so here we are. This is the UI, beautiful, I know. We'll get the display name. We're going to create something saying beginner, starter packs. And then we'll say, oh, this is relating to 50. Description, that's a good one, perfect for light use. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and actually we'll just say, I think I'll just copy some. I've got some here. So just give us 2 seconds and I'll get some features in. Okay, so we've got some features in there now. I believe this works out. Yeah, I think that works out all right. Okay, so let me then associate that with a billing price. So we've got a 50 pack here. This is for 50 credits. So now we're going to go create the pack. We've got it here. I think there's just an error. I think I've changed it from display name to name in the code. So I just need to go and work that out because I'm not going to show very well in the next bit. But so we've got that. I'm going to do the same thing for the next one as well. Okay, so now we're going to create the 100 pack. And there we go. Again, display name's not showing up. I'm going to fix that in a minute, actually, before I go on to the next bit. Okay, so now technically we can go back to Payper PDF and actually look at the credit packs. I'm just going to take a quick look at that display name just whilst so the demo works. All right, 2 secs. So we're now on the credit packs page. There's some jankiness here in terms of UI. It's just when I was doing this, I imagine there'd be 4 credit packs, but and then the UI just doesn't compensate when there's not. That's fine. Also, this sign-in button is should be show the credits and the dashboard, because when you log in, there it is, and then this is the nav link that it should look like on this pricing. So I think when you go to that page directly, it just hasn't followed through. So that's just some sort of state within React that I need to look at. Okay, so we get to these starter packs, and what I'll do then is I'm going to click this. It will take me to the Stripe page specifically for that. So we're expecting the 100 pack with £15 and 100 credits with the description that we put in when we was creating it. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so here we go. This is the Stripe page. As you can see here, we're in sandbox mode. We've got the demo credit pack and impact meant for demonstration. So that's all good. Got the email populated. We've also got the, you can pay for things. What's remaining out of this is just I've got the webhook logic done. I just need to really test it and make sure that it's updating and everything correctly. So that's where we're at with the product so far. So there was a lot of infrastructure that is. Let me just switch to a different view. So this is where we're at currently with the product, and there's still quite a few bits to do over this next week. But the actual code that I've written within Payper PDF is real minimal. The only thing that I'm not too happy with is the whole tenant flow, the onboarding process. So that to me has exposed a real thing that I can sort of bring out into a proper system within SaaSCore.net to make that a really nice thing. Same with the auth flows, because I've had to do certain things for this. It'd be like really lovely just to be able to say, I want to log in and then do these things, and then I'll just specify actions within those that I want to do. But it's coming. The framework's definitely been progressed as a result of doing this app, which is fantastic. And I've got ideas for the next app, so I'm going to do a video out of that. And I'm not going to go into the code in this video. I've just thought about what I can do for tomorrow's video, which is going to be sort of like a lessons learned up to this point, because now this is just connecting things and making the process work end to end. And obviously doing the PDF sort of functionality, but again, I'm not concerned about that at all. It's more the credit consumption, the infrastructure around it, as I've said. So that's where we're at. Tomorrow will be a sort of lessons learned up to this point, because certain things have had to change, and I've definitely noticed that there's some things that are kind of clunky with what I've done so far. So it's like, okay, I need to really like sort of think about, it's all to do with like dependency injection, like the registration for it. So some things were just like not obvious. Some things were like, and obviously the huge thing that would have benefited this would if I could have specified the auth at the CLI time. Also the billing wasn't hooked up in the CLI either, not fully. So there's definitely some parts missing. This project has highlighted that, and yeah, we're going to crack on, and we'll get a working product by the end of the next week, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate over the next weekend, and then introduce the next app. So thanks for watching. Sorry about last week's videos, and see you in the next ones. Cheers.